Denver is the latest target of Texas's governor, who's busing migrants to so-called sanctuary cities to make a political point. Republican Governor Greg Abbott bragged about it on social media today, shortly after 41 migrants from Texas were dropped off at Denver Civic Center Park. It is the first time that we, or the city of Denver, knows of migrants being sent here on a charter bus as opposed to traveling here on public transportation by their own choice. Denver has welcomed 10,000 migrants since December. There are 1,100 migrants currently in shelters in Denver. Texas has been sending migrants to Democrat-run cities since last April. Governor Abbott says he has now ordered more than 19,000 migrants sent to cities like Washington, D.C., Chicago, and New York. And Abbott's also had busloads of migrants dropped off in front of the homes of Democrats, including Vice President Kamala Harris. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock called Governor Abbott's move political theater. And then Hancock engaged in a bit of it himself. He said he was going to send Governor Abbott the bill for the migrant support. He's not actually going to do that. Hancock's spokesman told us that what he was referring to is the fact that Texas is getting more federal funding to help with migrants and that Denver wants more of that federal money. Our Marshall Zellinger found today that cities impacted by the migrant crisis are not always getting the same amount of federal funding for each person they help. And Denver has ended up on the short end.
The federal government is sending money to cities and states caring for migrants. The amount is far from equal. The city and county of Denver and the state's Office of Emergency Management combined received $1.1 million. So far, Denver has received 10,000 migrants. That's about $115 in federal aid for each arrival. Compare that to New York, which has received $30 million and has seen 61,000 migrants. That averages about $500 per arrival. Chicago and the Illinois Department of Human Services received $8.6 million with about 8,000 migrants arriving there. That average, more than $1,000 per arrival. In total, Texas governments and assistance groups have received $128 million. In December, Denver's administration reached out to 36 cities and a half-dozen counties asking for help to care for migrants. Larimer County sheltered some for a while. Adams and Boulder County provided volunteers. And the city of Boulder allowed employees to work their shift at a Denver shelter. 25 employees did that, and it could be happening again soon.
What we've heard from Denver is that they really do have a need, some additional need for Spanish-speaking staff members.
Elizabeth Crow is Boulder's Deputy Director of Housing and Human Services and just told employees that Denver needs help again, offering city workers who speak Spanish to work their shift in a Denver shelter and get a bonus.
We just relaunched that incentive and announced it to staff again yesterday.
Boulder County, that was city, Boulder County is also allowing employees to work a shift in a Denver shelter without the extra bonus. A spokeswoman for that effort said that those employees who have volunteered are going through required background checks, which you need to work in one of these Denver shelters.
It's really striking, the discrepancy in the amount of per migrant funding that cities are receiving. So just today, conservative think tank here in Colorado, Common Sense Institute, figures that Denver's spending like $1,500 to $2,000 per migrant. So if you're a city getting $1,000 reimbursement for that, that's covering the bulk of your costs versus Denver getting $100, which drop in the bucket.
I mean, New York, Chicago, Denver, I would argue you'd have, I mean, New York's probably much more expensive in terms of caring for someone, but in general, that's about the same amount. I reached out to FEMA to find out why the discrepancy. The local person here kicked it to D.C., and it was too late for me to get an answer from D.C. Not their fault, my fault for doing it too late. Hopefully I'll get that answer tomorrow.
This is a multi-day process. We're working on this every day. We're always looking for new questions and hopefully getting some new answers. Marshall, thank you.